Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to News Dose. And I know there's some people out there that's been a little let down by the visuals for this generation of games. It doesn't really feel like there's been a major jump in just raw visual power. Rather, it's been more about better performance and faster load times. I mean, I'm personally more than satisfied with this generation thus far, but I also know that there's a desire for more out there as well. Well, GDC took place yesterday where Epic Games talked about the state of Unreal Engine 5, and one thing that they revealed alongside Xbox was just, wow. It was ridiculously impressive, and once again shows that Unreal Engine 5 might be that game changer, the spark plug that really takes this generation of games to new heights. For that matter, Xbox Studios have really been flexing their own capabilities here as well, so we're going to get into all that today, and then also the next generation Nintendo console yet again, because this time a new alleged leak may have revealed its specs, or did it? Because there's actually a little confusion on what's actually happening here. As always though, if you're enjoying the content, do hit those buttons below. It's greatly appreciated, but other than that, we do have a lot to get into today, so let's just go ahead and jump right into things, starting off with Sonic Origins. This year is a collection of Sonic games remastered for modern consoles, and it released last year. There was originally a lot of excitement for this compilation of games, which includes Sonic 1, it includes Sonic 2, Sonic CD, and even Sonic 3, which hadn't really gotten a re-release in a very long time. So this collection of games was kind of being built as the ultimate and just the best way to play the classic Sonic franchise. But, and here was the thing, there was one major problem that immediately became very evident. For whatever reason, I don't know, Sega does some weird things sometimes, they decided to make this a digital-only collection. Yeah, what a disappointment. Well, the good news here is that they've gone back to rectify that issue as they just announced Sonic Origins Plus, which can be purchased physically as well as digitally for PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox. More so, this collection will come with all its DLC, a new playable character being Amy, and then on top of all of that, you also get 12 Sonic games from the old Sega Game Gear. Yeah, that's a little bit of a blast from the past there, but yes, this physical edition also comes with a reversible cover and a 20-page art book. So yeah, I'd say this is turning out to be a pretty great collection and would fit nicely into any Sonic fan's library of games. Personally, I'm going to have to pick this game up myself. I'm not really sure which console just yet, but nonetheless, for those out there that did previously buy Sonic Origins digitally, if you do want to stick with that digital collection, which is completely understandable, they're also going to offer a $10 upgrade if you want all the playable content that comes with Sonic Origins Plus. This will all be out on June 23rd, and you can pre-order it right now. Next up, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday as some details leaked out early, thank you IGN, but we do now have some official gameplay to come over here, and that's for 2K Lego Drive. This is a AAA open-world Lego game priced at $60 for the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Switch, and then it will go for $70 for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series. Yeah, I guess those next-generation taxes are kicking in here, but either way, this actually looks like a pretty interesting game that has a lot going for it. In simple terms, I can kind of describe it as like Forza Horizon meets Legos, but truthfully, I think that there's more to it than just that. You can customize your car because, well, it's Legos. It also has a Sonic transform aspect to it where your car can transform on the fly. So let's just go ahead and say you drive into water, well, your car will immediately transform into a water vehicle and vice versa. I think that's a pretty cool touch here and adds a whole new dynamic to the game, and then it also has that wacky Lego sense of humor. Of course, they're going to have a lot of races and everything, but also it appears they're going all out on mini games, which comes off as both humorous and fun. Really just watching the gameplay here, though, I think kids are going to absolutely love this game. I think that if this game plays as good as it looks, because I mean, I think it looks great, this could end up being one of the better games to pick up for kids this year. Now, you can still enjoy it as an adult, as it just looks plain fun, a game for all ages, but if you are interested, 2K Lego Drive will be out on May 16th. Now, we also got an update for Redfall. This is what I really wanted to talk about yesterday. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out that way, but I love when I get the opportunity to talk about good and exciting games, and that's exactly what Redfall is shaping up to be. Now, I know on one side, people have kind of been skeptical of this game up to this point, but, and here's the thing, that's starting to change as different outlets have gotten their hands on Redfall. Now that early previews have started to hit the internet, not only do people seem impressed with what they've played thus far, but some are just absolutely glowing on how good this game actually is. I don't know what it is about Arcane games, but this tends to happen where their games fly a little under the radar pre-release, and then when they actually release, everybody starts to realize, hey, this is actually a really, really good game. Same exact thing happened with Deathloop, but yeah, let's just go and check out some of the headlines here. So you have God is a Geek as an example, and they're saying, quote-unquote, Redfall is a serious Game of the Year contender. And then you have VGC, and they claim Redfall is shaping up to be an utterly engrossing single-player experience. And that right there is the thing that I really want to talk about today, because there has been this misconception on what Redfall actually is. A lot of people have come to the assumption that this is some type of Left 4 Dead type of game that focuses strictly on cooperative gameplay, but instead of zombies, it has vampires. Well, that's actually not the case here at all, as several previews have pointed out. You can completely play Redfall as a strictly single-player experience, and apparently a very good and engrossing one at that. The thing that you really need to know here is that if you've played any of Arcane's previous games, Redfall is shaping up to be yet another top-tier Arcane single-player experience, and maybe, possibly even their best yet. Now, if you do decide to play this game by yourself, though, you don't have NPCs that travel with you that make up for not playing it cooperatively or anything like that. That's not how this game works. Redfall single-player plays very similar to other Arcane games, like Prey, like Deathloop, and like Dishonored, but with improved gun mechanics and also an open-ended world. I guess if you wanted to play it cooperatively, though, it would probably be more similar to Borderlands mixed with Far Cry than anything else. What I really took from these previews, though, and I do recommend checking them out yourself, but is that yes, Redfall is shaping up to be a great experience, regardless of how you choose to play. If you want to play a single player, yeah, it's apparently a great game. If you want to play it cooperatively, well, again, apparently it's a great game. So regardless of how you play, definitely look forward to Redfall when it releases on May 2nd. Yeah, May is looking more than just a little busy by this point. Now, speaking of Xbox games, though, let's just go and talk about Hellblade 2, because they just showcased some of its facial animations at the Unreal Engine 5 showcase. Now, I do recommend watching the entire showcase yourself, as it's quite fascinating. Very, very impressive stuff, though it is more geared towards developers, as it shows them what they can do with Unreal Engine 5. However, even if you're just a fan, there's still a lot of really interesting things here, and especially when it comes to Hellblade 2. Now, this is a game that I think might come out and blow fans away. I mean, I already thought the first game was amazing, and to this day, I do think that game is one of the best, the absolute best cinematic single-player experiences of all time. It really is that good. Go check that game out if you haven't already. And so far from what we've seen of Hellblade 2, I think that it looks even better. One thing about all of this is that Ninja Theory is under the Xbox umbrella now, and they can take Microsoft's budget and really maximize this game's potential, and it appears that's exactly what they're doing here. I mean, I was already impressed with its early gameplay that they showed last year, but here at the Unreal Showcase, they went into sinuous facial animations and how Unreal Engine 5 brings her to life. Again, if you played that first game, you know there's a big emphasis on facial animations. Ninja Theory and Melina Juergens, the actress, does a masterful job in bringing Senua to life. Well, in the sequel, check this out. This looks completely real, or shall I say, unreal. This is crazy stuff. Some of you have been waiting for developers to take advantage of next-generation hardware. Well, here you go. Now, to be fair, this is probably going to be implemented more on the cinematic style of things, but I mean, from everything that we've seen thus far, Hellblade 2 might be the best looking game visually this generation has to offer thus far. I mean, it really is just shaping up to be wow, to say the least. But this is something that we will start to see more of as this generation continues to go on. Unreal Engine 5 is going to unlock a lot of potential that these consoles have. In this Hellblade teaser, as an example, you can see how developers can implement Unreal Engine 5's MetaHumans technology, where it processes footage to apply detailed facial animations to a 3D model and better expresses different human emotions. Now, this can be done on lower-end technology as well, but when you combine all that with an even better technology like Ninja Theory uses, its application, as you can see here, can just be out of this world. But beyond just the facial animations and all that, we've also seen some impressive environments made in Unreal Engine 5. They're cutting down on development time by making things easier on developers. That has been a really big problem with AAA development. And there was even that Matrix gameplay demo that was made a year or so back by the Coalition, yet another Xbox studio. Again, these Xbox studios, they're really flexing their technical prowess right now. But the thing that I want everybody to kind of understand is that this generation has only begun. It's going to get a lot better, as you can see here with Unreal Engine 5. For that matter, I'll just go and leave you with a picture of all the different studios using Unreal Engine 5 currently. Yeah, it's going to be a fun generation. Now, we also got some news for the Nintendo Switch Successor. I mean, we keep hearing about this thing, but what is the Switch 2 and what will be capable of? That's really what we all want to know. And, well, allegedly, a usually mobile leaker from Korea by the name of Connor discovered the chip it's using, which, according to them, is another NVIDIA Tegra chip, but manufactured by 5LPP. Now, what does that actually mean, though? Well, to put it short, without getting into the technical mumbo-jumbo, this chip is much more powerful than the current chip that's been currently rumored for a while, being the T239. So if this were to be true, that would mean that the eventual Switch Successor will be even more powerful than what is currently suspected. So this rumor has kind of been making the rounds over the last couple of days, which is why I wanted to go ahead and bring it up here. But hang on, there's a little bit more to this story, because the same leaker came back and said that it might not be using the 5LPP chip after all. Apparently, they were originally looking into it, but since NVIDIA changed Atlan to Thor, they seemed to cancel the Tegra for Nintendo. So on one side, if you've heard this rumor and that they're using this new chip that's supposedly going to make this next Nintendo console much more powerful, just go ahead and pump your brakes on that. Now, with that said, it does still sound like Nintendo will be using a more powerful chip than what we previously thought. But all in all, I think fans need to just go ahead and keep their expectations in check. I mean, if you think about it, pretty much after the GameCube, Nintendo has mostly prioritized innovative ways to play on their consoles at an affordable price, whether that be with the Wii. You have the Wii U, the DS, the 3DS. You also have the Switch with its hybrid design. And based on their recent wording of wanting their consoles to be quote-unquote unique, I think that there's a good chance that will continue. I think the more that comes out, the more that we hear from Nintendo, the more it sounds like the Switch Successor might not just be a simple jump in power. Now, I know that's what some of us want, but I think something else might be in play here as well. What that will be, I'm not entirely sure yet. Maybe a foldable screen, maybe they implement 3D again. I mean, who really knows what Nintendo's going to do? But at the same time, it still definitely looks like there will be a significant jump in power. But at the same time, if you're expecting it to sit alongside the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series, that might not necessarily be the case. I mean, maybe it will be, but I wouldn't really get my hopes up too much for that. All in all, though, I think as long as it keeps its hybrid design, has backwards compatibility, and has at least a significant boost in power, it's going to be yet another great console that will fly, and I mean fly, off shelves. Now, speaking of a Nintendo Switch Successor, I wanted to go and ask you all, do you think Nintendo should finally add an achievement and trophy system with their next console? And as you can see here, yes, most of you all do believe that they should, with 73% of you saying yes, while 22% of you said no. And once again, I am with you all on this one. I have wanted this for a very long time. I feel like with every console since the PS360 days, there has been this hope that they will implement some type of achievement trophy system. But here we are a decade beyond that point, and we still don't have this. It's really crazy to think about. I mean, they're having success without it, so it's not like it's been a major problem for them or anything like that. But I still do know that there's people out there that do like to go achievement hunting or trophy hunting, or maybe they just like the novelty of being able to track their games, or just getting achievements for small rewards, regardless if they're going for 100% or not. And those people will buy multi-platform games for the Xbox, for PlayStation, instead of buying on Nintendo, because they don't offer that. I know I've been in that situation a lot of the times myself. As an example, when it comes to 3D platformers, which is a genre that I very much like, one of the big things with those games are trying to collect every single thing in the game. And I feel like it's more rewarding on Xbox and PlayStation because you can shoot for that 100% or platinum trophy. Whereas on Nintendo, it's it's not nearly as rewarding. Now, at the same time, I do understand that there are some people out there that just don't care about achievements and trophies, and I get that as well. I used to be the same way. But at the very least, it's a great way of tracking some games that you've played in the past. I mean, I can still get on PlayStation and Xbox and see games that I played whenever I was a teenager. I can go back and look at the achievements that I got on games like Halo 3 or Killzone, for that matter. I can see all these things. I think that's a really cool thing about the Xbox achievements and trophy system. Now, I will say that I liked what Nintendo did with the 3DS, where they had that app that tracked every single game that you played and how long you played it. They had like this whole ranking system and everything. I absolutely love that they did that with the 3DS. Unfortunately, they did not do that with the Switch for whatever reason, but yeah, I think that it's time that they added an achievement and trophy system. Will they? This is Nintendo, so probably not, but I would love to see them finally implement this after a decade plus. Anyways, though, that's it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget about the notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for making this content possible. Peace out.